Hi everyone, David here, and in this lesson we're going to go over how to download OBS, how to install it, and then we'll give a quick tour of the software. To download OBS, go to obsproject.com. As you can see, it is available for all three platforms, but we'll be using Windows for this demo. For people on other platforms, you should be able to follow along. The normal quirks and translations will apply. If there's anything really different you need to know, we'll be sure to include it. So downloading it is as simple as just clicking on your platform. We're going to download our Windows version, put it right on our desktop, and there we go. So the next step is installing our software. The file we downloaded should be right there on our desktop. Let's double click it. And here we have the welcome to the setup. So we click next, then we click next again to OK the license. Then it gives us our choice of where to install it. I just installed it in the default location. And then just like any other program, we can launch it, and it gave us an icon on our desktop. So let's launch it. And when you launch it for the first time, the auto configuration wizard will pop up. Now it gives you three initial options for setup, optimizing it for streaming, for recording, or for the virtual camera. Now the truth is, the settings we're going to use will work fine for all three, but we're going to mostly be using the virtual camera. Now we're going to go into this deeper in later lessons, but let's just take a second to explain what we mean by the virtual camera. Basically, we're going to trick your computer into thinking that what we're doing with this software is a webcam. So then when we go into Zoom or Microsoft Teams or whatever video software, we're going to select the OBS virtual camera as our webcam. So that'll make more sense as we get along in later lessons. For now, don't worry about it. Just select virtual camera and let's move on by clicking next. So here's the results of the auto configuration. What we really care about is the resolution. It looks like for my computer, OBS decided 1920 by 1080, otherwise known as 1080p, is a good resolution. Another common one many of you will see will be 1280 by 720, which is 720p. Those two are really good because they give you that rectangular shape that fits well in a lot of our video conferencing softwares. If you don't like the resolution that OBS chose for you, we can change it later manually in the settings. So now let's make this full size so we can take a better look at it. Okay, first let me just do a little resizing here. As with a lot of software, you can kind of grab between the margins and move things around to make it fit your screen the way you want to. And let's take a quick look at our top menu bar. So very quickly, feel free to poke around in the top menu bars, but we're not going to be using a lot of what's up there, especially not at the beginner part of this course. One thing worth pointing out is the docks. The docks are what I think of as the panels here, the different sections. If you accidentally click something and lose an important panel, if all of a sudden your sources go away and you don't know how to get them back, this is how you do it. You go to your docks and find it and click it and you'll be able to get it back. But other than that, we're not going to be spending a lot of time in these top menus. So moving down, let's look at the biggest area of the screen. What is this big black box? That's actually our preview window. Everything we create in this OBS software, we're going to see there. So our webcam, our background, our images, everything we do, we're going to see in this preview window. Continuing clockwise, we see our controls panel. Now for these lessons, the only thing we're really going to use is the Start Virtual Camera, which we don't have to worry about for now. But also if we need to get into our settings, this is where our settings button is. Earlier I had mentioned we might want to change our resolution later or something along those lines. We'll get into the settings in the advanced part of this course, but here it is in case you want to poke around. The next panel, or dock I should say, is the transitions. We'll be getting to these in a later lesson, but we have fades, we have swoops, we have swipes, we have barn doors, we have all sorts of great transitions in the default OBS as part of the beginner part of this course that you'll be able to use. Now the next section is our audio dock. And the good news is we really don't have to worry about this. For the most part, we're just going to be using the audio in our video conferencing software, in our video meeting software. We're not going to worry about this too much. There's a few things you'll need to know as the advanced part of the course, but for now, just don't worry about this. And finally, our last two docks, scenes and sources. This is where all the action happens. This is where we'll be spending most of our time. This is where we get to be creative. This is where we create our virtual worlds and where we put all of our video tricks. This is where we do the things that's going to make our meetings more impactful, more memorable, and get rid of our video meeting fatigue. And we'll get started doing that in our next lesson. See you there.